Imagine handing any AI tool one file and it instantly knows your voice, your values, and how you think. Well, I built mine the other day. Now, I'm a pretty heavy Claude user. I've got custom instructions loaded in. I use it constantly. So at this point, it really does kind of know me. But I saw a post from Ruben Hassid, who runs How to AI, which is a great resource you should check out. And he shared a prompt that you can drop into Claude or really any AI tool you use. Now, the prompt tells AI that you are a taste interviewer, a relentless interviewer whose job is to extract the DNA of how I think, write, and see the world. The goal is to build a document that captures my voice so precisely that another Claude instance could write and think exactly like me. Now, it works through 100 different questions across different categories like beliefs, writing mechanics, aesthetics, voice, personality, structural preferences, hard nose, and red flags. Now, I copied it from his newsletter, which I'll share. I dropped it into Claude and we started. So then it started asking the questions. First, it laid out some ground rules. I'm going to ask you 100 questions. It'll push me when I'm being a little vague or playing it safe. It'll ask for receipts, meaning real examples of things I've actually written. And if I contradict myself anywhere, it's going to catch it and ask some more questions. So it started going through the questions, and this is where it got really interesting because Claude knows when to push when I'm being safe. That's in its instructions. It didn't just take my first answer in a lot of places. It asked for follow ups. Is it specifically this aspect that you're not liking? Are you worried about this part? Tell me more about that scenario. And I'd answer back using the voice to text dictation, the microphone button down here. So I was really talking to it in my own words, which included some, repetitive words, the ums, likes, knows, that I would normally edit out in my actual writing. Now, we only made it through about 27 questions. Around 23, Claude realized that our back and forth was actually already answering a lot of questions that came later in the list. So it offered to cut the redundant questions and just ask for the pieces that it was still missing to create this document. So I took that option. And it did not let me off the hook anywhere. Anytime I wavered, I said, I'm not sure, or I think this is it, Claude called it out for me. So I would say that's the piece. It would say that's the piece that's missing, or that's what I was actually asking, or you didn't answer the question exactly how I asked. Let me ask it again. So I was not allowed to kind of skirt around the answer, nothing vague. And after each one, it gave me a bold kind of response back. Let me find one here for you of what it was going to contribute to this document that we were creating. So it was coming up with, my mentality that it could add to this document. And so piece by piece, it was really building the blueprint of me. Now, I'll be honest, at first, I was really hesitant to try this out. I kept seeing this post and kind of kept ignoring it. And I was like, I don't really want AI to be a complete copy of me. I don't want to lose myself in the mix here. But I kept seeing it. So I figured, hey, let me just try it out. And I ended talking to Claude for probably 3 or 4 hours. I did take a few breaks. And we never hit, like I said, the full 100 questions because we were doing a lot of back and forth in between. So we got to 27 and it was able to create that real blueprint. It was able to pull out those key pieces. It surfaced things that I'd mentioned in passing that I was nervous about, pieces where I was downplaying maybe my own expertise. And it was doing that quick reframing so that it was really creating a true blueprint of my values and what I believed. And so it got really deep, my philosophy, my values, what I think about when I talk about AI, what really drives my passion. When I'm doing that hands-on work on the ground was really comprehensive and genuinely insightful. And at the end, Ruben also provided a second prompt that kind of condenses that document down to a tighter version that you can download. And then you can use that file to upload into your other AI tools. You can drop it into your cowork folder so that Claude reads that every time it goes to work with you, so it understands, the language I want to use, how I phrase things, how I write, how I speak, and the topics that really matter to me. So I'm not having to start at square one every single time. And if I ever want to switch AI tools, I can use this file to easily switch into tools and not have to start at the beginning. So this felt like a really fun actual activity that I wasn't really prepared for, but it felt like I was talking to an executive coach or a therapist, working through these deep layers of my soul. So I would really recommend anyone to try it or something like it. You could start even just really basic. Hey, interview me with 50 questions or with 25 questions so that you can really understand my essence, my being, my values. It could be really helpful. It got a really comprehensive output in this document. One thing I will call out that some commenters in Ruben's post were talking about, there were a few lawyers talking about potentially the data privacy and security issues, because if you have this document that now is the blueprint of you, if that were to be hacked or shared in an unsafe location or with people you didn't know, that could be used for harm. So you do want to be really careful about where you save it and where you share it. And you want to really treat it like it is a blueprint of you. So I hope you try this out. I will share the prompt, and I want you to stay curious, friends, as always.